Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Neelambujashya Malakomalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Parno Mahasayaka Charuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvam Shanatham Atulita Baladhamam Hema Shailabhadeham Danujavana Krishanum Jnaninamagraganyam Sakala Guna Nidhanam Vanarana Madhisham Raghupati Priya Bhaktam Vatajatam Namami. After the arrival of Shurpanakha, the sister of Ravana in Panchavati, she meets Bhagavan, Lakshman and Sitaji. And after some discussion, conversation, finally both of them knowing who she is, Bhagavan gives Lakshman a sign and she has her ears and nose cut off. She then goes to her two brothers, Khara and Dushana, and also there is another one called Trishira. They bring their army and Bhagavan sends Lakshman and Sitaji away, and single-handedly he defeats these 14,000 Rakshasas who have come. Shurpanakha, then, having seen Bhagavan defeat all of them, she goes to Ravana. And so we saw the symbolism here in this story, that Shurpanakha can be understood as kama, as desire. And that desire can be dealt with by vairagya. That vairagya is guided by knowledge. And even though she has her ears and nose cut off, she is still not completely defeated. Some desires are such that even when we try to negate them, they remain. They're very stubborn. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan talks about three types: sattvic, rajasic and tamasic desires. Those sattvic desires, which are easy to get rid of, are like smoke from a fire. So with a breeze, with some wind, that smoke is dispelled. Some desires are like dirt on a mirror. And so there, some air is not enough. You have to scrub in order to remove that dirt. And some desires are like the womb in which the fetus stays. And there what happens is you just have to wait until that baby is ready to be born. You can't do anything to remove it before it's time. The outcome, or what we see in relation to desire, are these brothers, Khara and Dushana. When desire is not fulfilled, when desire is denied, then all the defects in the mind come out. They are displayed. They become manifest. And they are not necessarily just 2 or 3, but 14,000 in number. So many negative thoughts are produced. And here, because it's Bhagavan who is dealing with Shurpanakha, she also has to go to Ravana because Bhagavan has some other purpose that needs to be fulfilled here. What was said when Lakshman cut off her nose and ears? Take kara Ravana kaha mano chunoti dinhi, as though this challenge has been presented to Ravana through Shurpanakha. And so she now goes there in order to prompt him to take revenge. And so we had seen after doha 20 that Shurpanakha arrives in Lanka and immediately she starts insulting him. Some people are such that in order to take your attention away from their own faults, they will immediately start pointing out your faults. Our mind also has the same tendency. We don't have to externalize it necessarily. When we have certain faults within us and we're not yet ready to face up to them and to recognize them, we start to find fault in others. That tendency is called asuya. Atri Muni's wife is anasuya, that one who has no tendency to find fault in anyone. So Shurpanakha doesn't want anyone to examine too closely her own behavior. So she goes to Ravana and immediately she starts telling him that you have just forgotten everything, you're just lying around and sleeping and drinking. And your enemy is at your door and you haven't even noticed. She says that there are certain things which are nothing but fruitless labor. 4 things she names. She says, Raja Niti Binu. When someone has power, but that person doesn't understand Niti, they don't understand how to wield that power, then their sovereignty will not yield any fruit. Even if you have some responsibility, right? But you don't understand what's the best way for you to guide the people who are looking up to you, etc., and how to govern, then that power becomes useless. Dhanu binu dharma. Wealth without dharma is nothing but shrama. If dharma is not accompanying our wealth, that wealth will be spent in all fruitless things. So that won't bring us anything good. Harihi samarpe binu sata karma. Even if you do such good karma, but you do it without offering it to God, that sat karma will have the effect of just keeping you in samsara. Yes, it will lead you to pleasure, because if you do punya, the result is you will experience sukha, you will experience joy. But that punya karma, that doesn't lead you to moksha. It just keeps you within this samsara. So that karma also is nothing but shrama. It's nothing but just futile labor. And finally, vidya binu viveka. Knowledge without wisdom. Knowledge without discernment, discrimination. That knowledge will not do any good. Shrama phala padhi kiye arupaye. All of this is just shrama. Then she goes on to say some more things. She says, sangate yati. So somebody is yati, means an ascetic, someone who is striving for something higher in life. That person's efforts can be undone by attachment. Sangha means attachment. Means by mental attachment to anything. Because the yati's dharma is to be unattached. So becoming attached will just undo all of the hard work that is done. Kumantra te raja, if a raja has some minister who is advising him wrongly, he can be undone. Manate gyan, knowledge is undone by arrogance. Panate laja, and modesty is thrown away, tossed away by drinking. Priti pranaya vinu, friendship without love. And madate guni, a good person is undone by mada, by vanity, pride. Asa suni, she says, I have heard. Now more things she had seen. So we had seen this, and we had read the next two dohas, also 21. She says, there are some things which you should never take lightly. Ripu, Ruja, Pavaka, Pava, Prabhu, Ahi, Ganiya na chota kari. You should never think that these things are not very important, not worth your time. What are those things? Ripu. If you have some enemy, say somebody has declared himself your enemy, and you just ignore him, you think, you do what you want. If somebody is your enemy, you have to be aware of what they're doing so that you can protect yourself. In the world, say you have some business venture, okay, and somebody very openly declares themselves as your competitor, and you don't try and find out what research they're doing, what product development they're doing, and suddenly they come out with something even better than you, and you have no idea, you'll be left behind. So you should never ignore an enemy. Ruja, disease, you should never ignore. If something is wrong, you pay attention and you make sure that it doesn't turn into something much worse. Ruja. Pavaka, fire. You know when you put out a fire and you put it out but still some sparks or something is remaining there. Those sparks can again turn into a huge blaze. So you should never ignore, you should never think, oh yeah, I put it out. You have to make sure that every single bit is completely extinguished. Papa means negative action. Prabhu, a master, and Ahi, a snake. None of these should ever be taken lightly. Now she gives all of this as though her wisdom. Asa kahi vividha vilapa kari lagi rodana karana. She then starts wailing and lamenting and starts crying. And now she's there in the middle of the court, right? So she's wailing and crying and shouting, and she throws herself down. And she says to Ravana, Tohi jiyata dasa kandhara mori ki asi gati hoi. Do you think that while you are still alive, I should be reduced to such a state? Means you are not doing what you should be doing, neglecting your duty as my brother. One thing is here, only Shurpanakha can talk to Ravan like this. Anybody else had said anything of what she said, Ravan would have done something terrible, cut their tongue or something. So she is his sister, so she has some privilege in that respect. She speaks to him in this way. Now, he is not reacting at all. She has come with her nose cut off, ears cut off. She's insulting him. He is not even getting up from his chair. He's just sitting there and watching her. Now you can just imagine the sort of scene that Shriramcharitmanas is creating. She's already looking so terrible. No ears, no nose. And she's come in this state because she's come directly after the battle. Okay, so she saw everything that happened there. And she comes to Lanka, and now she's lying on the ground in Ravana's court, weeping and shouting and wailing. And now, Sunata Sabhasada Uthe Akulai. Now all the other people in the Sabha, they all get up. They're so agitated because they also heard everything that she said. So they all stand up and they pick her up. Samujhai gahi bah uthai. They pick her up by her arms and they try to console her and comfort her. This Ravana, kaha lanke se kahasi nija bata. Ravana says, tell me what you actually want to say. So far you've just come and you've just been insulting me. What do you actually want to say? What's happened? Okay, he doesn't actually seem very bothered at this point. So he's still just sitting. Maybe he's used to her. So if you've grown up with somebody and you know all their tricks and how they behave, this is just another one of Shriramcharitmanas' dramas. This is it. Okay, tell me, kahasi nija bata, what happened? Ke tava nasa kana nipata, who cut off your nose and ears? Now, see how Shriramcharitmanas talks about Bhagavan. It's very interesting. Avadha nurpati dasaratha ke jaye. She says there are two, and they are the sons of the king of Ayodhya. Lakshman, when he had told Shriramcharitmanas that, listen, you can't marry me because I'm just a servant, at that time he had said about Bhagavan that he is the Kosalapura Raja. So that now she's telling Ravana, they are the sons of Dasharath, who is the king of Ayodhya. Purusha Singha, they are lions among men. Bana Khelana Ain, they have come into the forest just for sport, for hunting. This Bhagavan had said to the messenger. Okay? All of this Shriramcharitmanas heard. Bhagavan said to the messenger that we are Kshatriyas, Hama Kshatri Mrigaya Bana Karahi. We have come to this forest and we hunt people like you. So Shriramcharitmanas is telling Ravana. Samujhi pari mohi unha ke karani. And what I have understood about what they're doing, rahita nisachara karihahi dharani. Their mission, their aim is to remove all demons from this earth. This is what they have come to this earth for. Jinakara Bhujabala Pai Dasanana. O Dasanana, she calls him a 10-headed one. By the strength of their arms, Bhujabala, Abhaya Bhaye Bicharata Munikanana. All those munis who were so scared, who weren't doing any worship, any yajnas, etc., those same munis are now wandering around the forest completely fearless. Ravana is the type of person who likes people to be scared of him. Here there isn't that much description, but what's said is in Valmiki Ramayana there is so much description of all the things that Ravana used to do. And he was someone who is incredibly powerful, such that he had made Brahma out of this three, right? Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Brahma, the creator, he had made him his family priest. So Brahmaji every day had to come to Ravana's court to do some yajna, some homa, havan, prayers. All the devatas were just doing whatever he said because he was so powerful. And on earth, all these munis and everyone was terrified. Now Shurpanakha says, everybody is doing what they want because this Ram has come to the forest. Nobody is scared anymore. Abhaya bhai, they have become fearless. Dekhata balaka kala samana, even though they look like boys, they look very young. Kala samana, they are like death. Means they are so terrible. Paramadhira dhanvi gunanana, they are extremely dhira, means courageous. They are very good archers. They have so many gunas, so many virtues and good qualities. Atulita bala pratapa dvau bhrata, these two brothers have unending strength and glory. Khala badharata suramuni sukhadata, they are dedicating themselves to exterminating the khala, wicked people, and suramuni sukhadata, they are there to give great joy to all devatas and munis. Sobha dham Rama sanama, one who is the abode of beauty, his name is Ram. You'd think with such a description that some devotee is describing Bhagavan, right? That they're so strong and they're so valorous and they're so courageous and they're so good, they're protecting all these munis, etc. And also Sobhadham, that's the first thing that attracted her there, right? That Bhagavan and Lakshmana are so beautiful, so handsome. So now she's telling Ravana. And up until this point, Ravana is not reacting at all. But she knows that Ravana's weak point is desire. Those people who have excessive amounts of desire, you put some appealing thing in front of them and they lose all sense of propriety. So they will do whatever. Ravana used to capture all these beautiful women on earth, but also from the heavens, all the apsaras and gandharvas, etc. And he would keep them imprisoned in Lanka. Shurpanakha knows that his weak point is desire, and specifically he's full of lust. He loves to have beautiful women around him. So she sees that he is not reacting to anything what I've said. Now she says, Dinake Sanga Nari Ekasyama. Now together with this Ram, there is one most beautiful woman. And she is Ruparasi. She is the abode of beauty. Bidhi Nari Samvari. She is she's the abode of beauty, and she's so lovely in her appearance. Rati Sata Koti Tasu Balihari. She is more beautiful than millions of Rati. Rati is the wife of Kamadev, who is supposed to have this most beautiful, unsurpassed beauty. Millions of Ratis are nothing before Sitaji. Now Ravana's ears perk up. He sits up a little bit. Now he's paying attention. Tasu Anuja Karte Shruti Nasa, his younger brother, cut my ears and nose. And Sunitava Bhagini Karahi Parihasa. They heard I was your sister, and so they have tried to humiliate me, and therefore you, in this way. Khara Dushana Suni Lage Pukara. When Khara and Dushana heard what they had done, they went. Chana Mahu Sakala Kataka Unamara, but he destroyed all of them in one moment. Now Ravana, you see some reaction in him. Kara dushana tisira kara ghata sunidasasi jarit sabakata. Now, hearing that Kara and Dushana have been destroyed, now he starts sort of becoming filled with rage and anger. That my brothers have died. Not because he's attached to them. We will see in the next, not because he's upset that my brothers have died. His thinking is something different. Earlier also we had seen this, right? That when this whole army had gone, seeing Bhagavan, they were also struck down. They also couldn't do anything, seeing how beautiful Bhagavan is. So it's not that anybody is excluded from seeing Bhagavan's beauty or Bhagavan's power or glory. But our reaction to seeing that beauty is where we differ. Some people will see it and their impulse will be to bow their heads, to surrender to that Bhagavan. Some people see that beauty and their impulse is to get frightened. They run away. Some people see it and they get insecure and they think, I'm also beautiful. Why always these people are talking about Bhagavan and how great he is? I'm also great. So Śrīrāma has also seen how beautiful Bhagavan is, also seen how strong he is, his courage, etc., his bravery, that he's so valorous. Ravana has another different reaction. And here you can see that along with desire, his vice, if you want to call, is pride. Really speaking all, because 10 heads means he has that many doshas. So now he gets very angry. Kara Dushana have also been killed. Shūpanakhahi samujhai kari. So now he tries to console Shūpanakha. Bala bolesi bahu bhati. And how he tries to console her by praising his own strength. That Rama you may think is strong, but I am 100 times stronger. You don't have anything to worry about. I am just as great. I am even greater, in fact. But now you see, he is praising himself. Gayu bhavana ati sochabasa. He, when he finally goes by himself to his own house, is ati sochabasa. He is full of anxiety. Needa parai nahi rati. The whole night he can't sleep. He is very worried. Why is he worried? See what he's thinking after 22. Now, what is Ravana thinking? Sura nara asura naga khaga mahi. More anuchara kahako nahi. Among all of these, Sura means the Devatas, Nara, men, Asura, demons, Nagas, among birds also. More anuchara kahako nahi. There is no one who can stand up to my servants. Anuchara means servants. Because this is how he sees Kara, Dushana and Trishira. Why can no one stand up to them? Kara Dushana mohi samabalavanta. They were as strong as me. Inahi ko marai binu bhagavanta. Now something clicks in his head. Apart from Bhagavan, who can kill them? Who can defeat them? Means he also knows that there is some Bhagavan in this creation. He is not such that he denies the existence of Bhagavan. It's very interesting. This is only Bhagavan actually can defeat. Sura Ranjana Bhanjana Mahi Bhara Jo Bhagavanta Leenha Avatara. This Bhagavan, what does he do? To give glory or to give delight to the Devatas and to relieve the earth of its burden, that Bhagavan takes avatar. That must be the reason that he's come now. To me jai bheru hati karau. If I now make myself his enemy, and if I fight with him, Prabhu sara prana taje bhavataro, I will lose my life at his hands, and I will cross over this ocean of transmigration. This is Ravana saying this. Now you might wonder that if Ravana knows that this is Bhagavan, then why does he think that the only way that he can die at Bhagavan's hands is to become his enemy and to fight with him? He knows Bhagavan's strength. He knows Bhagavan's glory. Why is he now thinking that his only option is to fight with him? And that's the only way he'll come out of samsara. Ravana says, Hoi hi bhajanu na tamasa deha. This body of mine is extremely tamasic, and therefore I cannot do bhajan with this body. I can't worship Bhagavan. I can't serve him. Mana krama bachana mantra dridha eha. Therefore, this is now my firm resolve that in mind, in action, and in speech, this is what I will do. I will fight with Bhagavan. Jo nararupa bhupa sutta ko harihau nari jiti ranado. And if, say that these two brothers are just some princes, then I will kidnap the woman who is with them and I will conquer them in the battlefield. So either way, I will win. One, if I die at Bhagavan's hands, I will escape the samsara. And two, I will conquer them in the battlefield if they are just men. And by that, I will increase my glory, etc., my fame. Now, he's made up his mind. So, chala akela jana chadhi tahava, basamari cha sindhu tata jahava. Now, he knows that he also has to set this thing in motion if he wants to fight with them. So what he does is, he gets in his chariot and he goes to where Marich is living by the Sindhu Tat, the seashore. Marich had appeared in Balkand, and there Bhagavan had not killed him. He had shot him with an arrow such that he was thrown some 800 miles away. Because Marich also has now another part to play in this story. So Ravan goes to Marich, is another demon. Now, there is one very interesting portion which comes in this Tulasi Ramayana, which is not there in Valmiki Ramayana. And this is now what is being introduced here. Iha Rama Jasi Jagati Banai. Now, here, so this you've seen that whenever Tulasidas is, if he's talking about Ravan and Ram, then he will say there, Ravana is there and Rama is here. So he always places himself with Bhagavan. But whenever there is any devotee and Bhagavan story going on simultaneously, Tulasidas puts himself with the devotee. So he's here with the devotee and there with Ram. So here his Iha means here, what Ram is doing. Jasi Juguti Banai, he is now creating some scheme. Sunahu Uma So Katha Suhai. Now Shivaji, Bhagavan Shiva is telling Parvati ji, now listen to that story. What is happening there? Lakshmana gaye banahi jaba. Once, at this time, Lakshman goes into the forest. Lena mula phalakand. So he is going to collect some fruit and foods to eat. So now only Bhagwan and Sita ji are there. Janaka Suta bole bihasi kripa sukha kand. Now, Bhagwan, who is the abode of compassion and joy, he smiles and he speaks to Sita ji. And what he says, we'll have to see next time. So this is very, very beautiful, this is very unique, what happens now. And one thing which is really also very special in this Tulasi Ramayana is the way that Tulsidas ji portrays Sita ji with so much reverence and with so much love that so many of the things which are said in Valmiki Ramayana you will just never see here. One example in Valmiki Ramayana, what is said is there is a lot of description of Sita ji's beauty. Here Tulsidas ji will not mention one thing. He will, if there is somebody else describing, like Shripriya said, she's very beautiful. Tulsidas ji gives so much description of Bhagwan's body, he will not say one thing about Sita ji. And his attitude towards her is very different, so reverential. So, after Doha 23, we'll see next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om.